Yep. It's just me and my eye. I chose a red lip to match my red eye. Do you like it? Great. Welcome to part 2 of Gabbie, Hanna, and Trisha Paytas hashing it out-ish. I'm really tired, so if I lose my train of thought, I'm sorry. We're going to be talking about the comment section in the podcast, which is on Gabbie Hanna's 37th channel. Trisha actually has made a response. Excuse you. Trisha has actually made two responses to the final cut of the podcast. And we'll talk about that a little bit. Just a super friendly reminder that if you haven't done so already, please feel free to subscribe. I'm not going to tell you why, you know the gist by now. If you don't know the gist by now, well, you should have subscribed and then you'd know the gist. At 1,000 subs, I have a video planned that's going to go here. It's also going to go up on my second channel, which has no content right now, and a link that doesn't work for some reason, but it is in the pinned comment below, and all my weird fuckery is gonna go there. So if you're not into like the commentary shit, head on over there for some weird stuff that's gonna fall out of my head, and there's a lot of it. I don't know if you've ever gone back to the archives on this channel, but some of it's really fucking weird. Sorry, I'm talking about myself a little too much. Like, what is this, a Gabbie Hanna podcast? Okay, let's get into part 2 of this. In part 1, we established that Gabbie Hanna and Trisha Paytas talked about essentially nothing in the span of about an hour and a half, but there are some finer points about the podcast itself that I sort of wanted to touch on that we're gonna get into today. So let's dip our little toesies into the cesspool of shit that is a comment section. I'm keeping everybody's name public because they are publicly posted on this video. I'm not trying to expose anyone. Please, if you disagree with somebody even vehemently, please do not go send them hate. Please do not go attack them or find the comment and just, you know, leave them alone. Gabbie, I was genuinely scared for my life. Trisha, that sucks. Which does pretty much sum up this podcast like a lot. It's okay to not like people, like in life. It really seems like Gabbie just emotionally okay, first of all, I want to say like 24 hours ago, all of the comments on here were strictly pro Gabbie, anti Trisha, which makes sense because it's her crowd, you know what I mean? It's her audience that would most likely get there first. Not that it's a competition, but it's nice to see that the comments have sort of like evened out a little bit, because it felt very, and I think I came off this way in my first video, where it felt very disproportionately like everybody is, and let's not forget our tally here, why is everybody saying that Trisha is gaslighting Gabbie when what I'm saying is potentially Gabbie gaslighting Trisha? But like I said in my last video, I think that that whole situation in terms of gaslighting is a wash. It doesn't fucking matter, because either things happen or they didn't, and if they're not going to come to an agreement or on the fact of the matter, then who cares? There's nothing that we could say or argue, or no one we could stand up for that would make that situation any clearer. And so I think it's best to leave it. It really seems like Gabbie just emotionally dumped on Trisha and she just wasn't ready for it. Also, if Gabbie thought they were friends, then why didn't she talk to Trisha about the rumor? Yeah, that's kind of was my point in my video as well. I did feel like it was a lot of like just emotionally dumping on Trisha, trauma dumping on her. So I can agree with that. Trisha's just being real. She's not going to just be fake and pretend they are besties. They aren't. It's perfectly acceptable as a grown adult to have an adult conversation without pretending. It's fine to have a level of understanding while also being true to yourself. Yes, this is exactly what I was just saying. Wild gestures. It's okay to not like people. Like, it's okay to not want to be someone's friend, and it's okay if someone doesn't want to be your friend. It's okay. Adam McIntyre just says, OMG. Gabbie's at a point in her life where she can forgive, forget, and bond with people she once felt hurt by. Good for her. Trish was just betrayed by, I can't read today, I'm terribly sorry. Trish was just betrayed by her longtime proclaimed one and only true friend a month ago and is not ready to just quickly forget, move on, and bond with someone she felt hurt by, and that's okay too. I agree. I agree with that a lot. I think that, you know, I think Trisha has reiterated a few times. And if you're sick of me with the pro Trisha comments, I have some pro Gabbie comments in here too, okay? Just chill, we'll get there. But Trisha has kind of said over and over again, like, I don't have friends on purpose. Being betrayed by someone she did consider a really close friend is hurting her a lot. And I don't think it's easy to, you know, open up and have a cry sesh slumber party thing with somebody you've had beef with for years after, you know, just being like, I don't know, completely shit on by your best friend. Just a thought. Sometimes I wonder if Gabbie has any interest in life other than herself. Yeah, she does. I think she does. Her level of introspection makes her seem more self-involved than, hopefully, than she is. But I get where you're coming from. In one breathe, Trisha says, the internet doesn't bother me, it means nothing. Then in the next breathe, comments trigger me. I don't understand the difficulty in that distinction. The inference is that in the scheme of things, it means nothing to your life. In the moment, it can affect you. But it's what you do with how it affects you, I think, is the important thing. That's what I got out of both of those breathes. I'm happy Gabbie's evolving into a better person. I always liked her. Even when her and Trisha were going through their drama, I had sympathy for Gabbie because you can tell she was coming from a good place. I don't know if Trisha has herpes, it's coming from a good place. Also, I wish Trisha took a little more accountability during this conversation. You can tell Gabbie is really trying hard to have a human connection, and Trisha doesn't seem to care. I think Trisha does actually care, she just has her walls up. Yeah, I think she cares. I just don't think she cares as much as Gabbie's viewers wanted her to. Because I don't think she cares as much as Gabbie's viewers, because she doesn't have, again, she doesn't have to. They're not friends, and, you know, I'm not saying don't have sympathy or empathy for other human beings or show sympathy. Okay, this has to go. I don't think that Trisha placating Gabbie into thinking that she cares about her feelings so deeply is more helpful than just honestly not caring as much. Trisha, I'm a lot more woke now. I love it. Trisha, minutes later on misogynistic comments. Who cares? This one we're gonna get into because I think a lot of the audience and Gabbie herself really misunderstood what Trisha was trying to say in disagreeing with Gabbie. I sincerely understood where Trisha was coming from. The industry as a whole, specifically the music industry, is always looking for like the next young person, right? Young people are more lucrative because they have longer careers and they're easy to sell to younger people. There's a huge demographic of young people who are just seen as consumers to these people, right? They're dollar signs, as are the performers. They're dollar signs. It doesn't mean that people over 30 can't make it. It doesn't mean that people over 30 can't have a fucking kick-ass rock career or a pop career or become a movie star or any of those things. All of those things are absolutely possible and absolutely feasible. But just like a career, if you were 16, it's incredibly rare. These are not things that happen all the time. You can believe you're gonna be an Oscar-winning actor all you want, but the fact of the matter is that it takes work, it takes luck, it takes being in the right place at the right time, being right for the right role, having the skills, having the ability. It takes a lot more than just like a wish and a belief and sitting at home at night praying it'll happen, you know what I mean? So I think saying it's truly misogynistic and ageist is really oversimplifying a harsher reality. It doesn't mean that it can't change, but it just means that no matter what your age is, no matter your gender identity, becoming a famous, successful musician, actor, whatever, is rare. Period. For everyone. Oof. I felt that so hard when Gabbie was being vulnerable. Like, I guess just based off our convos, I thought we were closer friends than you did. I thought we had a connection. And Trisha was basically like, nope, I don't remember that, know you, or care about you at all. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I feel like the whole concept of Trisha's gaslighting Gabbie is kind of baseless. That's not gaslighting, okay? A disagreement about how things happen is not gaslighting. Gaslighting would be, no, you didn't text me about being on your podcast. No, I never made videos about you. Even though I feel like it's a wash, I do want to stress that disagreeing with how things happen, how things unfolded, what someone remembers or does not remember, or someone simply saying, I never said that, that is not always gaslighting. And actually, more often than not, I would say it's not gaslighting. It's so odd that Trisha's denying literally everything. Does she really not remember every interaction she has had with Gabbie, or is she gaslighting? You know, it's possible to not remember every interaction you've ever had with someone. Trisha regressed 5 years of progress she has made as a woke person. I disagree. Trisha has made great progress, okay? She's not perfect. I know she's still fucked up. Blanket statement. I know Trisha has a huge past of really problematic things. But I do think, and especially hearing her part 2 video in response to this, talking about therapy, acknowledging her borderline personality disorder, all of that, it really does sound like she is showing a lot of personal growth and trying to understand why she is the way she is. And I know it's unpopular opinion season, but I do think Trisha is making strides at a full redemption. And redemption doesn't last forever, you know, she is Trisha Paytas. She'll probably do something fucked up in the next like 6 minutes. I feel like this is exactly how Trisha acts in therapy sessions, LOL. See, I feel like this is exactly how hanna acts in therapy sessions. I'm trying not to be biased about this, but I'm a little more on the side of Team Trisha on this, and I have to admit that to you because we tell each other everything, right? Where were you last night? Trisha, I love being woke. Also Trisha, completely denying the blatant misogyny and dismissing it as opinion, no. No. First of all, let me tell you my problem with this blatant misogyny shit. I'm a feminist through and through. Staunch ass motherfucking feminist. Give me equality, give me equity, all of it. All across the board. My feminism is intersectional. I am across the board in every way absolutely a feminist. Okay? Making that loud and clear. Hanna has recently hopped on this feminism bandwagon, I'm gonna call it. Not that she can't be a feminist, not that she can't call out misogyny, that's great, she's got a platform, do it. But don't do it because all of a sudden it applies to you. Do it because you fucking care about it, and then don't just drop it once you've gotten what you want. Look, I'm not saying there's a link between Gabbie not getting what she wants and the bandwagon that she hops on. But a lot of times this seems to be the case. If you're going to talk about sexism and misogyny and feminism, hear another woman out on what she's trying to say instead of interrupting her to tell her that she's wrong. Because her opinion, as this commenter noted, is also valid, because the point she was making, which I spoke of earlier, is also valid. What we're doing so often, and I'm seeing it as a pattern, especially in these comments, is we're shoving a label down the throat of the conversation. So rather than having the conversation or discussing the conversation that was had, we're saying, oh, so-and-so was gaslighting, or we're denying the blatant misogyny and calling it an opinion. Or, and hear me out, they disagreed about the way that things unfolded and they had different opinions about the state of making it after 30. And then my face, oh, this is a trip. The whole time Trisha's like, yikes, that sucks for you. This shit means nothing to me. Yikes. Hats off to Gabbie for being vulnerable, though. Yeah, hats off to Gabbie for being vulnerable. I'll give her that. I'm a big fan of Trisha, and watching this I literally am seeing her act like the people she hates so much. You are pouring your heart out and coming clean and speaking, and she literally doesn't give a fuck. She is very mean girl in this video. See, this reads to me like a Gabbie Hanna stan with a sock account. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I just love how they finally came face to face to talk it out, but Trisha must really think she's above it all. Eye rolling emoji. Also, I swear she says at least 10 times more words than Gabbie did. Bitch, where? Like, where? I do like that they came face to face to talk it out too. I think regardless of the fact that nothing was accomplished or hashed out, I do commend them both for sitting down together in a room and everybody leaving with both of their eyes. I feel like Trisha doesn't deserve Gabbie's energy at all. Nobody deserves that energy. That was a lot. You can tell Trisha has literally no empathy for anyone else. I don't think that's true. I just imagine like somebody like starts a rumor about your sexual health and you battle with them back and forth for like a year and a half, and then like you're supposed to show up and just like cry with them when they just like invite you at their podcast and they just like trauma dump on you and cry. She has no empathy because she's not gonna cry with the person who gave her hell for a year and a half. I mean, not that she didn't give it back, but like, really? Listening to this podcast has immensely helped me understand Gabbie and her actions and feelings. This is a good example of you never know what someone has gone through, so you need to be kind. Thank you, Gabbie, for sharing parts of yourself. It's been great watching you grow. Yeah, I'll agree with that. I touched on this a little bit in my last video. I think if Gabbie had just made a podcast, and I know she probably doesn't want to because, you know, of her younger siblings. But if it had been an episode about her past, about her trauma, about the things she's gone through, that would have been very, and I don't mean this in like a voyeuristic way, but like very interesting. It would have been a very good look into her life and into why she does the things she does and the way she thinks and all of that. So I agree. It was a good look into sort of her psyche, and even though it didn't really help the situation with Trisha Paytas, it was interesting. There are a lot of really hilarious usernames in the comments on this video. I literally can't even watch the end when they're talking about being 30. Trisha is being so rude. I've never once thought about someone's age when listening to their music. It's so strange how Hollywood cares about stuff that I would never have thought about. Yeah, I get both of those. Look, I don't think at 35 I could do a pop star lifestyle. And that's because I've seen enough shit. I lived through my 20s, you know? I did a lot. And I feel like a lot of people in their 30s can say that. They lived a lot in their 20s. And some people are still living a lot in their 30s for sure. Not everybody's the same. I'm just a lot more tired in my 30s than I was in my 20s and teens. So to me it makes sense that, you know, if you're not gonna make it in your 30s, it's not that big of a surprise, because honestly, I just rather be asleep. And for my last and final and favorite comment of the night, Cyndi Lauper performed "Girls Just Want to Have Fun" in her 30s. People told her she was too old, and if she listened to them, girls would never have fun. LOL. I like that. This concludes, thus far, my discussion of Trisha Paytas and Gabbie Hanna. There wasn't really anything enlightening in this video. I just kind of wanted to touch on everybody's sort of drastically different comments. I thought they were kind of interesting. I do feel like I'm gonna end up making another video because there was some things on Twitter people wanted me to see, and I do kind of want to delve into Trisha's response to these things. So I think I'm gonna make that its own video because, well, this has gone on too long and I'm tired of you, and I'm sure you're tired of me. If you like this video, please feel free to give it a like. If you didn't like this video, you know what to do. Just give me one of these motherfuckers and just get the fuck out. It's fine. Subscribe if you haven't already. I make videos whenever I feel like it. Turn on the post notifications if you want to know every time I post a video. Why am I talking like this? I am gonna take off this lipstick, have a glass of water, and go to bed like a responsible 35-year-old woman. I hope you have a terrific time being alive. Okay.